Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling some really critical forces shaping risk right now. We're looking at AI, cybersecurity, and these, well, fundamental economic challenges in governance.
Yeah, and our source for this is frankly excellent. It's a roadmap from a top cybersecurity mind, Román Ramírez, a co-founder of RootedCon, involved the Good Job Foundation. He's not just talking tech trends.
No, he really cuts through that. He's delivering this sharp critique of the governance gap, the thing that's stopping organizations getting, truly mature.
Exactly. And that critique is really our mission today. We want to pull out the insights on, well, two main things.
Right. First, how AI is just fundamentally changing the speed, the accessibility of threats. And second, his, let's call it provocative, proposal for fixing the defense lag.
Which involves connecting cyber failures directly to the company's financials, specifically its net worth.
We'll get into that. We'll be talking about Quen, amortization tables, and maybe why your CFO is kind of biologically wired to ignore security risks. It's fascinating stuff.
So let's start where he does, with this technical inevitability. People have been saying this for years, haven't they? And Ramirez confirms it. The marriage between AI and malware, absolutely inevitable.
Yeah, inevitable. And we need to grasp the scale here. It's not just like a faster virus. He's really clear. AI isn't just a paradigm shift for threats. It's a shift for everything.
Absolutely everything. Labor, philosophy, law, economics. It impacts it all. It's a total reset.
That big picture view is crucial, I think. In cyber terms, it means this relentless, super high-speed arms race.
The attackers. They're using AI to optimize, well, everything they do, recon, payload creation, hiding their tracks, so defenders can't just react anymore.
No way. They have to, as he puts it, run to do the same. Optimize their own automation just to keep pace with the machines.
That the speed limit just vanished overnight.
Totally. And we know this acceleration is the theme right now. He points out AI is the star topic everywhere, right? RootedCon, CCN, ESTIC conferences.
Yeah, the industry gets the technical threat is real. It's here.
But getting a handle on it practically is another thing, which brings us to a really specific technical point he makes, running AI models locally.
Right. This is where you see the shift in, like, accessibility. Forget just relying on the big guys, the GPTs, the Anthropics.
Because they operate on subscription, and they have these strict guardrails, don't they, to stop harmful stuff being generated.
Exactly. Which is fine for public use, but if you're a security researcher or, let's be honest, a threat actor, those guardrails are just annoying.
Yeah.
They get in the way.
They limit creativity, experimentation, and your independence.
Precisely. So Ramirez talks about his experiments running these large language models, LLMs, on his own hardware, locally. Full control, no subscription fees.
And he details the gear needed, which is interesting. Starts high-end, 24 GB VRAM GPUs, but then manages to scale it down.
Yeah, down to more accessible cards.
Yeah.
Like a powerful 12 GB portable setup, which, honestly, that democratization of power is kind of terrifying.
It really is. And he singles out one model, doesn't he?
He does. This is the nugget you really need to take away. He calls the Quen model from China absolutely descamional, immense, terrifyingly effective.
And that's running on the smaller 12 GB setup.
Even on the portable setup, yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's just pause on Quen for a second. Because historically, running models that powerful needed, like, data centers or those massive enterprise GPUs.
Right.
So the fact that something that effective runs on relatively affordable portable gear, that changes things.
It means two things. One, generating threats gets cheaper. Two, you bypass all the oversight from the big vendors. It's pure, powerful independence for anyone who wants it.
And that independence, that speed on the attack side, it just cranks up the pressure on the defenders, doesn't it?
Absolutely. If the attackers are nimble, fast, running on laptops, the defense can't be slow and bureaucratic.
Which tees up the defender's dilemma perfectly. This is the core tension, isn't it? The tech is soaring, but the response systems are stuck.
He says, assuming you have, 2 hours to respond to a modern threat is absolutely irrational. Automation is the only way.
But, and here's the kicker, the organization itself fights against it.
That's the human and financial conflict. We need automation, desperately. But if a cyber team gets too good, automates tasks, becomes really efficient, what happens?
Their budget gets cut. Leadership sees efficiency as being overstaffed.
Completely perverse. A self-sabotaging incentive baked right into corporate budgeting.
So to protect their jobs, their influence, their budget, staff might actually invent tasks or slow things down, make things seem unautomatable.
Make themselves artificially essential.
Yeah.
And that structural drag, that rigidity, is why the defensive side always seems to lag behind.
It's hampered by these huge, slow corporate processes and what did Ramirez call it, the crossed interests of leadership.
Yeah. Leaders who want the influence, the budget, maybe run a big team, but perhaps not the actual accountability when it all goes wrong.
Which leaves us with this really frustrating governance problem. Cybersecurity is still seen by many leaders as just a cost center.
A sunk cost, something that just drags down the profit margin.
And that mindset just doesn't work against AI-driven threats moving at machine speed.
And to understand why that mindset sticks, we need to step outside IT for a moment. Look at human behavior. This is where he brings in Daniel Kahneman.
Thinking fast and slow. Okay, let's unpack the psychology.
Kahneman's whole point, or part of it, is that humans, or primates, as Ramirez puts it, we're just not good at evaluating rational, long-term danger.
Our brains sort of short-circuit.
Yeah, faced with a complex risk that needs spending now versus the immediate reward of saving cash. We tend to rationalize. We choose the short-term saving over long-term security.
It's like a biological bias against spending today, even if it means disaster tomorrow.
And that behavioral flaw leads directly to his big solution, the provocative one.
Which is?
Cybersecurity has to stop being just a compliance cost checkbox. It needs to be woven into the economic fabric of the organization.
Okay, connect it to the company's financial health. You mentioned net worth earlier, patrimonio netto.
That's the term he uses, yeah. Net worth. The number that really moves the needle for investors, for the board.
So how do you make that connection real, practically?
The proposal is structural. Create amortization tables, not just for hardware, but for the core security principles. Confidentiality, integrity, availability. The CIA triad.
Amortize. Information security, how would that work?
The idea is, if your management of these intangible assets and information security is poor, if it's documented as deficient through audits or incidents, that failure should actively reduce the company's stated net worth on its balance sheet.
Whoa, okay, that is radical. I mean, how does a public company explain that to shareholders, amortizing based on an internal security score?
Well, that's the point, isn't it? It forces security metrics to become standardized, quantifiable, auditable, just like any other financial liability.
So instead of a breach being an operational blip or an insurance claim,
It becomes a fundamental impairment of the company's actual value, recorded value.
and the result he expects from this.
Brutal, but effective. He says if cyber failure directly hits the stock price, the financial statements, companies will mature. By the stick, as he puts it. Immediately. No more arguments.
Because that direct financial pain is maybe the only thing strong enough to override that Kahneman-esque irrationality we talked about.
Exactly. The system has to force the rational choice when our instincts might lead us astray.
Okay, stepping back from the boardroom theory for a sec. What about the ground level? The ecosystem needed to actually develop and use these advanced tools. We need local talent, institutional support.
And there is some good news there. He acknowledges that. We're seeing Spanish cybersecurity firms getting real valuations. He mentions the Onum news as an example.
Right, showing there's a growing ecosystem, VCs investing. He names Kibo, Pedro Tortosa. The tech, the professionals, they're there.
But, there's a big but. The risk of decapitalization. He's worried these successful Spanish companies get bought out too early.
Like after 5-7 years, before they become homegrown giants, unicorns.
Yeah. And that drains the wealth, the expertise, the brand value out of Spain or wherever the innovation is happening. It doesn't build a sustainable local industry.
Which points back to institutional failure, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
His argument is, if government wants to keep this talent and value local, it needs to be the first buyer, use its purchasing power.
Not just small, conditional grants with lots of paperwork.
No. Big, stable contracts.
Mm-hmm.
That gives these startups the runway to scale properly, become global players themselves.
And we are seeing some local examples of this working, thankfully. He mentioned Seville.
Yeah, the city council there, after that awful cyber attack in 2023, that just crippled everything. They committed serious money, $12 million, to cyber solutions, SOCs, EDRs.
And Elche's council is investing too.
It proves that local buying power can make a difference. And it perfectly illustrates the governance point we were just discussing.
How so?
Well, contrast spending, say, peanuts on basic compliance versus losing potentially 20 euro, 30 euro million because your city operations are dead in the water for 4 months after an attack.
Right. Maturity is understanding that cost ratio before the disaster hits, not just reacting afterwards.
Precisely. So if we pull it all together, the conclusion is pretty stark, isn't it?
Yeah. Technical maturity in cyber, high. processes, professionalism, amazing tools like Quen driven by AI. It's all advancing rapidly.
But organizational maturity, governance maturity,
Yeah.
still lagging way behind.
So the real challenge isn't finding a better firewall algorithm. It's economic, it's behavioral.
And the only way to force that organizational maturity, according to Ramirez's logic, is to change the conversation entirely.
Yeah.
Move from tech compliance and sunk costs.
To unavoidable financial necessity. Hit the net worth, make the pain real on the balance sheet.
It forces the conversation, as you said. We've covered linking CIA assets to net worth, the power of these decentralized AI models like Quen.
Okay, so let me leave you, our listener, with this final thought, picking up on that Kahneman thread again. If our brains, our human psychology, naturally short-circuit when we face these complex, rational dangers, if you're wired to avoid the hard, protective choices today, then what automated systems, what governance structures like that net worth amortization idea, what do we really need to build to effectively force rational defensive decisions, especially when our own human intuition is likely to fail us?
That is the crucial question, isn't it? For 2025 and beyond. A tough one for every leader, every security pro out there.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thank you.
We'll catch you on the next one.